And then the biggest pet peeve I have in video game design is this game constantly, and like I said, this is a cinematic game, so I expect to be a lot of cutscenes. I don't mind a long cutscene. I love Metal Gear franchise. What I hate about long cutscenes is there'll be like a 5-minute cutscene. It'll cut back to you, the player. You hit a button, and then it'll go back to another 5-minute cutscene.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
I hate it. Just give me a 10-minute cutscene, and then when the story beat is done, give me back control of the character, and I'll play. What's up, people? Welcome to our little traveling podcast shack we call Otaku, where we serve for the hottest takes in anime and video games. I am your host this evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you listen to this at, Ray, aka Sourdough Shonen. And today, we are going to be talking about the Squid Game Season 2, along with Squid Game Season 1. So we're going to have some spoiler talk, and maybe do a little bit of prediction of what's to come in the Squid Game universe. So if you've come for the Korean smash hit on Netflix, you've come to the right episode of the podcast. But thankfully, it's not just the Ray podcast this episode. We had that before on the podcast. Thankfully, that's not one of them. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Poor editor Ray's going to have to tell me how that worked out. But with me is, of course, my brother Miles. Hello, Miles. How are you doing, Mr. Gotcha?
That's my name, Mr. Gotcha now?
I mean, every week we're talking about either ZZZ or the Honkai, and then even, I think, well, Frankie's covering the Genshin Impact. We'll introduce in a sec.
We're going to cover all the angles, all right? We're going to make sure we get total coverage.
All the waifus on Husbandos. You also come to the right podcast for that. And of course, Frank, my other gotcha addiction friend, joining me, host on the podcast. How are we, Frank? How are we?
Still addicted.
Still addicted?
Yes.
Ginch all the way? On that new iPad Pro?
I'm trying to take a program where, ease off of it. Hopefully I'll be better soon.
One day, Frank. Gotcha. One day. Tune into the previous episodes of the podcast, see how the addiction is going, and see if his rehabilitation is truly began or not here on the Otaku podcast. But without further ado, before we jump into the Squid Game talk, gentlemen, let's gotta talk about everyone, what we've been up to recently, what we've been watching and playing. And let's go to Frank first. Let's see what he's been up to since our last episode of the podcast. See what he's been watching and or playing. So, Frank.
Am I going first because of the tease?
The tease. We have to know, Frank. We had a tease that Frank was potentially busy this week. And sadly, not for good reasons.
All right. Guess I have to talk a bit about real life.
Uh-oh.
So, I was coaching basketball last Friday. And I was beating these kids.
Okay. All right. Good way to start.
Hopefully not literally.
No, I was just,
emotionally
scoring on them, blocking them, you got nothing. You need to work on your game.
There you go.
Stuff like that. Because they think they're good. And I'm like, no, this old guy can beat you.
Exactly.
You're not good.
That's good coaching right there.
Sadly, I was going to drive in.
Uh-oh.
And I felt like somebody kicked me or threw a rock at the back of my leg.
And
I'm like, who was playing around? Turn around, nobody was there.
Oh, no.
So it turns out I got hurt and something tore back there.
Ooh.
And I couldn't walk.
Oh, that's not good.
So I went to the hospital the next day because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sleep it maybe.
Walk it off.
Walk it off. It'll be fine.
Maybe it's just, something it'll recover.
Take an aspirin.
Yes, the athlete approach. It'll be fine. It'll be better in the morning.
Yes. Sadly, it was worse. I couldn't even move anything.
Yikes.
From that leg. Went to the hospital and he told me that I have a severe calf strain.
Ooh.
And that I was lucky it wasn't my Achilles.
Ooh.
Because I thought I had the Kobe injury.
I was going to say.
I'm like, no, this is exactly what they described. But mine was higher up in the calf.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I was in crutches in the boot. I didn't go to work basically all last week.
Okay.
And no work, no coaching, which is kind of cool. I'm like, hey, what if I don't work every day?
And we have that brand new iPad I hear.
There's more gotcha time.
You know what? I haven't been able to use the iPad because I don't have Wi-Fi in my new place.
Oh.
And I was going to get Wi-Fi because, you go to Walmart and there's that guy, do you have internet? So my
Tell me
brother,
more.
Always those guys. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah.
and then usually I'm like, "Do you see what I'm wearing? I can't pay for internet."
that's not indicative. You see it? Look at this shirt. Look at this shirt. It's a $5 shirt. I can't afford
He
to
dresses
go to-
better up when he's coaching, by the way.
This is a 1999 shirt.
It's vintage. It's cool.
Haven't bought nothing in since. So he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You know what? Let's just get it." And then they were like, "All right, when are you gonna be home?" I'm never home. I have to be home. So I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'll tell him I'll call him back in 2 months because that's when I'll be free. So that's the long way to say that I don't have internet and no iPad because of that.
Ouch.
And so yeah, I was almost done with my recovery, or at least not done, but I had to go back to work Thursday. I know Friday,
Oof.
and that's when I texted you like, "When's the podcast?" And then so that's why I kind of like lost a week because
Right. All that. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I just like I was out of it and I didn't know what was going on, and so I had to hurry up and finish the homework. But it's not like I wasn't doing anything. I did start or not. Yeah, I finished. Portrait of Ruin, Castlevania.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was okay.
Mm.
I almost finished Order of Ecclesia.
Mm-hmm.
That one's okay too. It's kind of cool how it's divided in sections.
Mm.
I started and caught up to Solo Leveling.
Oh, the new season.
Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it.
I was gonna
Much
ask you.
more leveling and soling.
Much different now.
Oh. Maybe
Like-
I'll like it.
I doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like
Spoiler.
now he's like
Super.
not solo.
Oh, he's got a whole squad now.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey.
Now they're just lying to us with these
I know,
titles.
Jesus. But it's cool. I'm enjoying that. And then I started and finished Dandadan.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. It reminds me a little bit of Persona. I don't know if you finished it.
Yeah, we finished.
we
Both of us
finished.
finished it. Watched it together.
Cause I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of feels like every new cast member has a power,
Right.
and then it's like, hey, that's their persona.
And it's based on kind of a tragedy or
Yeah.
something bad that happened to them. They
Yeah.
turn that bad thing into a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely a little Persona E,
Yeah,
isn't it?
in that part. And then the other thing it reminded me a lot of is River City Girls.
River City Girls.
I think it has that same type of humor, and then it
Hmm.
has that like literally, I feel like I heard the same background music in the River City Girls, and
Oh, the soundtrack, the music's
yeah.
the same.
Remember that episode where the mannequin,
Yeah, with the mannequin guy.
mannequin's running
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
during that part? I feel like that's a River City Girl background music.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey,
Might check that out.
so it's fun. Okay, I don't know if I think I might have mentioned that I didn't want to watch Dandadan because
You were waiting for it to
I-
finish, or
no, because I live with my nephews and I
and
didn't want to because I had heard things about it. So I was babysitting a lot because I was with my injury.
Yeah, man, that checks out. That checks out.
So my nephews usually don't hang out with me that much. Like they'll pass by and they'll be like, "You have anything to drink or any snacks?"
Right.
But they like to watch their own stuff in the other room. So I waited for them to go to the other room, put it on. They love the song, so they come and they check it out.
Oh no!
And I'm
That
like,
catchy beat.
Because I used to put it on before I watched it, and we would just like mess around with the song.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we kind of watched it together.
Oh dear.
Oh, I don't know if I would recommend that one, folks.
I was like trying to avoid it, but then they were like, "Ooh, what is this?" I'm like, "This is a Dandadan." Ooh, who is she?
Yeah, tell me more about her.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, "What are balls?" Like, and then why are they talking about nuts? And
It's
then,
a horny show.
And then I'm like, I'm not sure about. I mean, it has its moments, but I didn't get. I think it's more like, haha, we're talking about balls and bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's a lot of crude
several
humor.
nudity
I
moments
feel like
also
that was
too.
early on. Anyways, usually especially my niece, usually she doesn't like anything I watch,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, she was just like, "Hey, we usually don't hang out, so maybe I'll just leave it on."
Mm.
And then my brother would like he caught us watching it. And he's like, "What are you guys watching?" I'm like, I'm watching something. I don't know why they stopped.
They came in here. I tried to get them out of here.
So then my brother had to go, and they were like, "Hey, but that's not here."
There you go. That's it.
Frank's the cool uncle, man.
That's all it starts.
Hook us up, Theo. Hook us up.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna watch it. Just don't tell your dad.
Shh.
Why not? This is the deal.
You want to watch it or you don't want to watch it? Which is it?
And there are things I'm not gonna answer. So that's that.
If you have a question, go Google it.
You have to wait till you're older to tell you when you're there.
Call me in
Yeah.
10 years.
So I don't know if I did the right thing. Probably not, but
I'm going to say maybe not. Maybe not.
but it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Well,
I think it's like they have good taste.
We're teaching them good anime. At least that's a good thing. You're showing them what good animation looks like,
Yeah,
Frank.
so next week is Attack on Titan, everyone. Let's start from season 1, see what happens.
Oh, we already watched.
Oh, come on.
We already watched part of
That was a
that.
family get together right there.
Let's see what else. I basically in Genshin I only do dailies. I look at Wuthering Waves, but I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, later.
Mm.
Oh, that's the
I-
other game, right?
I don't want to get
Yeah.
into that right now. What
Same.
else? More Kirby enthusiasm, and think that's about it. Just Dandadan, Solo Leveling were the big things. I think that wraps it up for me.
All
How was your
right.
Super Bowl, Frank?
Ugh, that
Yeah,
was
it's about right.
That was boring. In
That was over in the first 5 minutes.
I mean, not just the game. Everything was boring about it. Like the commercials.
It
the
was
halftime
a
show.
slow Sunday, I think we could all agree on at least.
We did little smokies though.
Now I know there's something wrong with society when all of this failed.
Mm.
We're supposed to have fun and have a good time, so we're promised
Don't worry.
a good time
Don't
on
worry,
Super Bowl
folks.
Sunday.
Baseball starts next week.
I feel like, I mean, with the artists, I don't know, I'm not into that, but I feel like it should be more of a wider reach artist.
Mm.
I feel like it was too, I don't know if I'm using this word right, niche, too you like for
Could be
certain, because
It's
I don't
not
know.
my kind of music. I'll say that.
But you see somebody that's like, hey, this is like an international
Right, superstar.
star, like,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel that. They did
Yeah,
that.
I know he's very popular,
There.
but like I said, it's not
Here,
right. He's popular here. I guess you should specify.
I saw like a video of somebody changed the music to DuckTales, and then like it kind of matched. I'm like, hey, yeah, sounds
I mean, if we're singing the theme song to DuckTales, this is going to be the best Super Bowl time. That's the Super Bowl I want to see. All
there
right.
you go.
That's what we need to do. And then afterwards, we're going to like do Aladdin songs and this and that. That's sign me up. Sign
Go
me
back to
up.
the 90s where it belonged.
It's
it
a good
was, It was
time.
the part where they were all like bopping, like duh, 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 duh. It was just all right.
Here in Okay, I'll stop. Copyright strike.
Yeah, yeah.
All righty, Frank. Well, then we'll move the weeks along here, and we'll ask Miles what he's been up to since our last podcast. So, brother, what you been watching and playing?
All right. Well, it's back to the back to the grindstone here. Well, I'll talk a little bit. So, probably it's easy. We're kind of just waiting for the next patch. So we're kind of right now. It's a fishing event where we're fishing now. We're doing pretty much
All joy.
style fishing. We're getting fish and we're it's fun, but it's interesting because there's not much. That's the problem with ZZ now. Most of the events now are not really combat based anymore. They're kind of like, oh, we're doing this neat new game mechanic, which is neat, but I think we're losing the part of the game that everyone's here for. So it's kind of interesting. Did like the thing I mentioned last time, the bunch of Fall Guys, but the bamboo Fall Guys, like the Fall Guys, but with bamboo. It's like these little mascot characters, but it's pretty much Fall Guys, pretty much. It's like the same gameplay style.
So we're playing Fall Guys inside this game. Is this
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, because that's an instrument of this game is that they do a lot of like we're just adding this other game into this game.
Okay, because I usually zone out when you start talking about these games, but boy, I must have really been zoning out because I do not remember this at all.
Yeah, I know that's from last time, I guess. But the main focus this week was going back to the Star Rail grindstone, I guess, and try to miss like I counted 4 patches of content. I got through half of it so far. It is interesting. They get yet another character, another like I guess like path ability because like your
Path ability.
well, because each character follows like a certain path, and it depends on how they attack. Some like they do debuffs, some do buffs, some attack one enemy, one attack multiple enemies. But like your main character, they can now switch to I haven't got to the 4th one, but you can switch to multiple paths, kind of in a way. So you can just change their gameplay style for that character.
Ooh, I feel like I've been asking for that with Genshin. Like, we need because I want to keep using the character, but I'm like, I'm kind of bored of these skills. I wish they kind of did them different.
Yeah.
Is something like that?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you could literally play as your favorite waifu all the time.
Basically, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Change it up.
So it's interesting because one of the characters, she's like the mascot character, March 7th. She's a character on the icon when you had the game. So they gave her a new ability, so now she does a lot. I guess she kind of like copies like certain other characters like weakness attribute. So like, say you need more lightning characters, she can copy that lightning attribute, so that way she becomes the basic lightning character.
That checks out. She's a Kirby.
Yeah, she's a Kirby now, basically.
Does she go Pio?
No, but she's pink though, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Interesting.
Got something cooking here.
That's what's weirdly too. They also started adding skins now, like Genshin and DZ, like I mentioned last time, but like only for her.
Beach outfits?
It's
There it is.
Coming soon.
I was gonna say.
But it's funny because like it's funny we're getting to the point now. All these games that are now we're getting to the, I guess how much
much money are you gonna give us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which amazes me. Like they're already giving you more they want. It never ends.
Yeah, but it was interesting content because it was back on because it was before because the new area when I mentioned what's it called? Well, I call it the Roman place, but now it has a name, Amphoriferous.
I'm gonna stick with Rome.
Yeah, for some Rome. But I haven't gone there yet because you have to go through the rest of the content first before you get to the new content. So I'm halfway there. I think I just got to go back to the other place, the Pentacoli, for one more side story, and then I get to actually go on to new content. But it's interesting because it is interesting how that game pretty much it's like, well, you could work out with the characters you have, but it'll be cool you get this character because it does better versions of that character, other character's ability per se, and it's more in Star Wars more a lot like synergy. Like this character works with this character to get the most out of like kind of like Genshin in a way, which like these abilities stack better when you have these characters go with this character, so that way it has the most synergy.
I don't like that.
Yeah, but that's where we're at now. Now I might watch a little bit of Digimon here and there, but nothing much report because we're at the end game. Who knows? Like we're getting to the same old like here's the final boss yet again, but in a new form. Like it's like it's like the not pound sign.
Pounds? Hashtag? What are we talking about?
The RE Digimon. We've been season 1, but new version.
Oh, is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, I forget. I keep
the new Digimon. It's the old Digimon.
Yeah, new old Digimon. There you go. Apparently, during there's a state of play this week for Sony. Apparently, announced a new Digimon story game.
Yay!
But it's kind of funny because it kind of like it got bypassed. Like that, it's like it was a quick screenshot and we just moved on. Like, wait, hold a sec. It's been a minute. Well, come back. No, okay.
No one cares. It's Digimon.
But I guess that's funny.
When they have Pokemon, let me know.
Oh, there you wait for Pokemon because I think
Gotta catch them all.
Was it ZY? Whatever the next one is supposed to be the like Arceus in the kind of a way, like basically
ZY.
Arceus.
Oh. Yeah.
The Switch 2.
I still haven't played the Scarlet. Is that what it's called?
Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I should. I have them too.
I heard they were bad.
The last one wasn't much better. I'll tell you that.
Well, probably every Pokemon game is they keep trying to keep everything the same. I think we need to actually innovate.
Which was the good thing about Sun and Moon.
But that's Pokemon for you as usual.
That's true.
I'm trying to think. I guess that's pretty much it. No, it's still trying out more content and hopefully by the end of this, but by the time we come back here, I should be able to play actually a real game. At least that's my goal, so I can play
a real game.
Like a non-gacha
game. A game that doesn't ask for more money every 2 seconds.
Well, I mean, I would argue it's probably Sega. So I'm going to put Lost Judgment next, and that one they like the comparable. I'm like, well, buy the season pass. But I bought the game for like so much money. Yeah, but you don't have all that content. You want to give $40 more, really?
That's how it works. Well, at least they tell you what you're going to get and for this amount of money versus the other ones. And it's like, well, we don't know what you're going to get. Just give us some money and try your luck.
Well, that reminds me. I guess I'm behind that too now because I forgot the pirate one came out this week.
I was going to ask you, have you played Infinity Wealth yet?
Nope. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3 games. Okay.
Did you play the one the man erased his name?
Okay, 4 games behind.
Wow, what a fake fan.
You know what's bad? Because the problem with that game is like kind of like it's like once you play it, you have to, I don't know why it's hard to play like long games these days.
Long games?
Like long games, yeah, long games. Yeah, but that's my goal is. But we had to get through everything else first to get back to, I guess, neutrality. That's
Neutrality?
back to being current. I guess maybe that's the best way to put it.
You're still behind, brother. So your
Right.
gotcha games.
And thus, I end my turn.
You could have been ready. You could have been ready for the brand new Yakuza game, but it's not Yakuza. It's like a dragon, and yes,
But yeah, I still call you Yakuza because that's what it is.
and you can spend all the best
No
time
matter
with
how
your
much
favorite
they-
waifu, Majima, and this is what you're doing.
Yeah. So how much time Sega really wants us to use like a dragon? No. Just no.
I'm just gonna call it Yakuza still. That's what the PS2 was called, and that's what the PS3 and PS4 was called. It's gonna be hard for me to make the switch. I'll call it his name is it Ichiban or
Yeah, Ichiban.
yeah, then maybe I'll call it the Ichiban games because there's Kiryu and then the Ichiban games. Next year will be the Yakuza year for myself, hopefully. Speaking about me and my goals in video games, I guess it's now my time to talk about what I have currently been up to on the last week or so here for the podcast. So let's start off with a overall positive thing. Let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie that came out around Christmas time. Finally got a chance to watch it on the home theater system. It's good. I'm not sure if it's as good as everyone made it out to be, but I'm a crazy Sonic fan,
And
so
what?
a
You
little
a crazy
biased.
Sonic fan? No, not you, brother. No.
But I did like it overall. I think they did it. It's not bad. Like the little complaints I have about the movie are more like of a not so much like a Sonic fan base Sega nut. More of a narrative focused, building up the second, third act structure kind of stuff, and more.
Uh-huh.
I would poke at a little bit more because the whole movie is about Sonic Adventure 2, which deals with Shadow's story and the tragic stuff that happened 50 years ago on what the arc and
Yeah,
the
the
system.
arc. What to call it?
Culinary arc, yes. Or they changed it up, but it's basically the same thing from the Dreamcast game. And I just feel like they didn't focus enough on that element to really sell that plot line as a big dramatic moment for the climax.
In it anyway.
Hmm?
There wasn't much shadow in there anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing and they made a big thing of Keanu Reeves, he's Shadow and this and that, and it's gonna be cool. But like, he only has like a handful of lines in the movie. It really is the Sonic show with a little bit of Jim Carrey to sell it in between. And while I do love Jim Carrey's performance, I'm glad he came back and did it. I think he did what he does best and made me laugh in the scenes. If anything, that was like the most improved or best thing I would say about it. I think the weird relationship in the original game storyline of Eggman or Robotnik and his Gerald Robotnik was always confusing to me. Yes, exactly. Gerald Robotnik is his grandfather.
He actually exists?
He is in the video game.
Oh,
he is actual canon lore. It was an original movie. He does exist. But they flesh him out a little bit more, and the relationship makes a lot more sense in this movie version than the video game version because it's very loosey goosey, and there's only a few lines that Eggman himself talks about. He literally just goes, General Robotnik, he was a great scientist, and he inspired me to become a scientist, and they're like, that's about it. But in the movie version, their relationship and the relationship with his cousin Maria, which often came to spoilers. It makes a lot more sense in the movie version. So I really, really liked that modification for the cinematic feature. But yeah, the jokes are funny. There's more Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails versus the human characters, which I think is probably for the best. I like they're slowly trying to walk away from the human characters, but when they are there, they don't distract or have any negative effect on the film. If anything, they're used pretty effectively for their short amount of screen time on it.
Yeah.
So I do like that, and that big dramatic beat with Sonic, with the Cyclops there is pretty good. Pretty good to motivate Sonic to do what he does, which might be a little bit foolish and out of character from, but in that heat of rage, Sonic can be a character that leads into his emotions maybe a little too much. But yeah, like I said, overall I think it's a good movie, but I guess that's the problem. I hear a lot of hype, and so I get I'm expecting 8s and 9s, but it's a 7 or 8 for me on that scale. But honestly, if you're a Sonic fan, I think it's an easy slam dunk. And even if you're not a Sonic fan, I think it's still pretty entertaining. And the tease at the end of there has me curious to see what's going to happen in the future of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, because it's the characters you might think if you're familiar with the Sonic lore, but not the way that you're used to, if that makes any sense, without getting into
I like
spoilers.
this cryptic thing.
So,
I just like the fact that the cast members look cute and small.
Yes, they're very portable in the movie version. I forget till we see it again. I'm like, oh right, they're really small. But yes, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So one good thing, time to talk about the negative thing from my week. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Circle Life.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh wow, that's quick.
I tried. I really tried. I mentioned last time on the podcast that
But it's game of the year, brother.
I don't understand. Yeah, another game like speaking about things I don't understand, the high praise and rating.
Was it Bioshock Infinite over again? Is that where we're at?
I don't think, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about that comparison. Problems Bioshock Infinite had like this huge development cycle, and of course the hype to live up from the original Bioshock, even Bioshock 2, I'd argue. While this game is like came out of almost left field, and like the movies are not as good, so it's an easy sell. But the problem is just I didn't get into it. The story stuff I think is fine, but minus that, the gameplay element, I'm just not into it. I'm probably gonna watch the cutscenes on YouTube.
Oh, so it's like Metal Gear. That's what it sounds like.
So there's like the story stuff, like I said, which is kind of good. Like it's fine. It's not even like good. It's fine. It's adequate. The problem is like every time when it's time to explore the world or go, solve a puzzle, this or that, it's like it's boring. From one like puzzle room to the next puzzle room is just boring and horrendous to me. I just could not find any excitement with the level design. Because like there's always like little open worlds to go and explore. But as versus like Assassin's Creed, Oblivion, Tears of the Kingdom, Uncharted. Well, but Uncharted, there's no real exploring. Uncharted is a linear game where you go A to B, keep going to the thing. But here they want you to explore the world, but I didn't find the world very interesting to explore and, dive into. And so every time, and all the side quests weren't interesting, and all you get is like RPG points that just make you punch a little stronger, and you move up like 5% faster. So there's no like, you don't get rewarded for the time and effort to do these side quests. So I felt like my time was being wasted doing these things, because at the end of the day, this is just a cinematic game about, Harrison Ford going on another adventure, basically. And the first person and the combat just got worse and worse, because there'll be times enemies will clobber me like in 2 punches, and there's times I'll clear the whole floor. I'll be all Germany with my 2 fisticuffs, and they'll just be lying on the floor looking like a bunch of idiots, and it's just so unbalanced. And so, like I said, it either became too easy or way too hard, because you're just literally putting left trigger, right trigger to see which fist is going to connect, and you're probably going to win more than not. And there's guns, but you never use guns because you have no ammo. You never have it, and then you can't hide weapons when you're walking around. There's all the stealth mechanics that aren't very good. And then the biggest pet peeve I have in video game design is this game constantly, and like I said, this is a cinematic game, so I expect to be a lot of cutscenes. I don't mind a long cutscene. I love Metal Gear franchise, and they have ridiculous long cutscenes. What I hate about long cutscenes is there'll be like a 5-minute cutscene. It'll cut back to you, the player. You hit a button, and then it'll go back to another 5-minute cutscene.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
I hate it. Just give me a 10-minute cutscene, and then when the story beat is done, give me back control of the character, and I'll play. I have no problem waiting that extra 5 minutes. But to hate me push one button that means absolutely nothing, I fucking hate so much.
They do that a lot in Genshin, where they're like,
oh no,
they make you press that, because I usually don't look at what's going on. I just press like skip, and then they're like, why isn't it skipping? I'm like, oh, it wants me to choose 2 stupid answers, which not gonna
it doesn't affect it.
Yeah,
That's pretty much about the same as well. So yeah, I hate it. It's a huge pet peeve in game design. So for those reasons, I'm just done. I'll go watch the 4K version on YouTube just because I want to see the story, because I like the character, and it's got to be better than the last few movies. But yeah, I only made up to Cairo, and you meet the big antagonist they tease the whole time, and even that was like the comedy beats also they miss. Like they know, because Indiana Jones can be quite humorous, despite like it shouldn't be, because you're fighting Nazis and this and that, and World War II's happening, kind of, or the setup to World War II. But there's a lot of levity in the movies, but like the game doesn't incorporate those humorous moments very well, or as well as the original movie. So that's another reason to just make me go, nope, I'm done. And so that I am closing the book on The Great Circle. The plus thing is I played it through Game Pass, so I didn't pay anything for it but the original subscription, which I got a discount for. So attaboy me. And the last thing I'll talk quickly about is I finally picked up my Straw Hat Sail flag and went back to the One Piece epic that is One Piece. I'm on Wano now. I'm on Wano.
A manga?
The manga I did. So I technically started watching a little bit of the anime, and I went, "Oh,
But why?
I can't do this. This is tough."
But why?
Way too long. Yeah, after watching it, I don't know if I mentioned it. Just watch the last fight.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at because where I started, I'm basically Yuffie just arrived on Wano. He's trying to figure out where like Zoro and everyone else has been because they've been separated for a little bit. And like, it's fine as a person who grew up watching like Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's basic. That's time kind of. I mean, it's literally the same anime too, so I guess it makes sense. But I just don't want to at the same time because I watched like the first handful of episodes. But it's funny because then I went back to the manga and like the manga. It's like one panel, one page, where this stuff they last like half an episode on.
Mhm.
So it was funny to see the comparison. But yes, so then I went back to the manga, and yeah, and I guess I ended. Apparently, the last chapter I read was the end of Act 1 of Wano, where Yuffie encountered one of the emperors. I forget his name. Kaido, that's his name. And it didn't work out in Luffy's favor. Shocker.
Are you saying Yuffie on purpose?
Yuffie? What am I saying?
Yuffie?
Yuffie? It's Luffy.
Yes.
I do that all the time. It's Final Fantasy VII. I do it all the time. I want to say Yuffie, but I say Yuffie. Damn it. God damn it, Cloud. Damn it, Cloud.
Cloud's still here, huh? Cloud.
All these years, it's just in there. She's still Eris, okay? It's still Eris. But yes, Luffy, the guy with the scar and the shorts.
With the L. With the L for everyone.
Yeah, with an L. God damn it, I do it every time. And I have to really catch myself because I have to, like, that's just it.
But isn't he a ninja now? So
Yeah,
wouldn't it
he
fit?
believes it all the time. No, he's a samurai actually, and he still doesn't know how to use that sword. But Zoro makes fun of him all the time. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, it seems okay. Like, I just find it funny that like, as a One Piece is a very like pirate show that's not like set in a Japanese setting. All of a sudden, like it's just Japan as fuck. So it's just kind of funny to be like, how did what? Huh? Like, and like it's 900 chapters into the series, and now we're doing like more obvious Japanese influences, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm interested to see what's going to happen because I knew I'm going to say, God, Luffy was going to not win as easily as it made it seem like in the first few panels that maybe he's got this in the bag, guys, and ooh, not so much, not so much. So yeah, that's where I'm at One Piece, and hopefully I'll keep going on that journey to come. And I got to get to Gear 5. I'm so
on the road to Gear 5.
What is Gear 5? I don't know, and I still don't understand.
You haven't seen nothing about it?
I've seen it. Like I've seen like
Pictures?
gifs of it, but like
What is-
how
what
and
i-
why?
what is this?
And then little who he's fighting? I don't know. I've seen the person, but I'm like I haven't met this person yet? Question mark.
I feel like the manga is better
Hmm.
when it comes to, because I saw the fighting and the animation. It looks pretty,
Right.
but I feel like I enjoyed it more in the manga because it just happened way too fast in the animation. Way too
Mm.
fast. I'm like, no, let me enjoy these scenes. I don't know if you saw the new Ninja Turtles movie with Jackie Chan.
Yes.
I feel like the action was way too fast in that,
It was pretty fast.
so that's how I feel they did it. And I'm
Mm.
like, that's why.
I can see that and understand that. That's a good comparison. Nice. I understood that reference. So yes, that is it for my week and all our weeks here on Taku Taku Podcast. Stay tuned next week to hear all our updates. My poor brothers, gotcha. Fever.
We're almost there.
Maybe I'll convince them to play some
and
Yakuza.
Bocchi to Rock got a second season.
I mean, wasn't it always?
Yeah, but actually, they're like a year and a half ish. They finally caught it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a fish. Yeah, it was
that's what I
okay.
said.
It was okay. Is my answer. All right, so let's talk about what we all came here for, gentlemen. All our big homework assignment we had the last week or so. And let's talk about the Squid Game, not games. Is it just one game?
The Squid Game.
Squid Game. Despite their season 2, so I would argue it should be Squid Games. I have a diploma that says I should argue this. so I'm going to-
Aliens.
It's not games.
Uno, just one, just the one.
Oh, huh.
Despite,
sense.
we should change it. We should change it. So it needs to be, because it need to be aliens. That's what they should. Season 2 should be Squid Games.
Be like Fast and Furious. The Fast and Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
No, like all the-
Too many Squid Games. Perhaps. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Before there, gentlemen, before we jump into season 2, I feel like it's only fitting we go back a little bit and talk about season 1.
The good days.
And I guess quickly we'll go through around a little circle here and just talk about like our kind of spoiler-free impressions about the first season, and then after that we'll do a quick any like spoilers we want to get to about season 1 that leads to season 2, and of course it leads us to our season 2, and then spoilers to season 2. So let's go to Frank first. And Frank, what did you feel and think about Squid Game season 1? Were you part of the hype of 2020 that this first debuted on Netflix?
Well, I did hear a lot about it, and that's why my brother put it on, because he was like, "Hey, they're putting this a lot on social media. Let's check it out.
Let's find out."
So I think I might have talked about this a while back. I hated the English dub. It was just like, what? It's one of those like, it felt like those old Chinese movies where they're moving their mouth and
it's just not even close.
What?
They say one thing, but their lips are still moving.
Yeah. So and then the Korean is fine, but I don't want like putting effort these days, so I just put it in Spanish.
There you go.
It was good. The Spanish is not bad.
Does the lip flaps work better in Espanol?
I feel like they do. I at least I didn't notice anything off.
Kind of curious.
So it was. I enjoyed it. I mean, it probably is overhyped like usual, but
A tad.
usually I don't pay attention to that. So
smart man.
I enjoyed it. It did have some. I can't remember right now. I just saw it.
Oh,
Like
that's a good start.
it had probably some parts that made me cringe a little. I can't remember anything from season 1 except for the ending. And I'm like, why the hair? It just makes no sense.
Oh, the hair.
Yeah. And then it's just like, I mean, if I talk about specific parts, it would be spoilers.
Spoilers, okay.
But, so yeah, it's just like the ending where it's like.
Okay, we'll talk about it in a sec, but I just kind of go quick. Overall thumbs up. It sounds.
Yeah,
like.
I liked it.
Okay. We'll come back to you in a minute.
Which
spoilers? Unless you got something else first.
Yeah, I was watching it because I'm like, let me review this, and because I was planning on watching season 2 before we were gonna do the podcast. I was watching it, and then I had my little nephew with me, and he was like saying everything that was gonna happen. Like, when have you seen this?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he was like, oh, the cookie, and then he's like, oh, there. He says pimo for when people die. He's like cookie pimo. I'm like, whoa, you know what's gonna happen? It was crazy because he knew like the first 3 episodes, everything that was gonna happen. Like,
Apparently, Dad.
No, and then I asked everybody.
And no?
He was like, no, we haven't. And then because I asked my brother, did you watch it with him? He's
Right.
like, no. And then I asked my dad, which I feel like that's the more likely.
Suspect.
And he was like, no. And he was like, I guess he watched it on YouTube.
That's why. Yeah, the zeitgeist. It was that popular enough that it would be hard
Damn
to
you,
miss
internet!
it.
Once again.
Yeah, and then he
That's
kept asking like, hey, let's watch Squid Game. I'm like, you're too young for that. All right.
Well, we watched Dandadan.
Yeah.
No, something more less. No, more.
That wasn't, but it wasn't violent. Well, I mean, a little violent.
I'm starting to think I'm not a good uncle.
Or you're the best. It's one or the other.
It depends, but no.
Time will tell.
So yeah, I liked it overall. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Miles? How was your like early impressions or your like non-spoiler impressions of season 1 of Squid Game?
It's very colorful. That was interesting. Oh, the color dynamic was weird. Like, being like a childhood playground, I guess, right?
Very like 50s, 60s inspired, right?
Like Frank mentioned earlier, the dub was bad. We tried watching dub.
We saw it for 2 seconds while doing a little recap for season 2.
I think some old Jackie Chan movies are a lot better than whatever they were trying to do that there.
Yeah, this is why. Well, I'm spoiled by anime because they taught me I just need to watch this in the original language and read subtitles.
But I can't do subtitles.
Some people can't. I can, and I don't understand the other people.
It
sometimes.
is funny now looking back after watching season 2 that wow, that was more happier in the sense that everyone was more carefree at a certain point. Until like the rest of like as you keep going through the rest of the games, like early on he was more happy about like game money, I'm working, I'm going. He was more, I guess, ecstatic over it over the time. But as more people getting
well, it got more real.
It got more real.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, and more a little tougher. But it was funny to see like that part from season 1 that because everyone uses that The picture he took.
Oh, you're talking in between seasons? Yes, the photo. You mean?
Yeah, the photo. Because everyone uses that. I know that on social media.
Right, because early on in season 1, he doesn't know what's going on, this or that,
and it's like, oh, he's like locked in now.
Right.
As a kid say.
I guess so.
Overall, it was interesting. I started like other cultures, like their childhood games per se, right?
Right. Yeah, we don't have Squid Games out here. At least I didn't in LA.
It kind of makes you think like, what would, like if we, because you know, Adventure gonna make one US one,
American version.
No, they are gonna make Adventure by Death Note guy.
Hopefully, be better than that first version.
But it is really other culture, because it's not Japan we're more familiar with, right? So
right.
It's another thing. So you're like learning, so they do this, or they did that, and it's and then how it all connects to pretty much kind of a little bit like Eden of the East, kind of in a way, where it's like it. At the end of the day, it's more like for better for worse, the ending of Eden of the East, in which it's not really about the games per se. It's about like this higher.
It diverges from that storyline. Yes,
yeah.
Maybe too much, I'd argue.
Oh yeah, well no, obviously
but
this is a little better, but we go beyond the game.
It's true. That's true.
And overall, it was interesting, but like I think like Frank mentioned, it's like it is very hype. I think like a lot of people didn't seen a lot of death game scenarios, I guess.
Yes, it did. Well, everyone's got to remember this was 2020, so we're like pandemic as F, as the kids would say. So when you have nothing else to do and you're stuck at home and you got a Netflix subscription and you hear a little buzz, which became a real big buzz real quick, it's easy to see everyone get aboard the hype train, I suppose.
All I know, it's funny that when you go to the grocery store now, you could buy a Squid Games pizza. Squid Games.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So apparently you could buy Squid Game spring rolls. Like
the famous spring rolls, for that famous episode.
Yeah, that's make it good. They had a pizza, of course. They had a lot more Asian style food, I guess per se. But I feel like we missed the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they also made that reality show, the competition thing that's on Netflix.
Right.
And I feel like we just like we missed it.
Wow, it's time to sell.
But yeah, no. Overall, it was interesting, but I think it's just a little. Everyone's taking it a little too seriously around here.
All right. Well, I guess for myself, real quick, season 1, a little bit of Miles was talking about is, well, the thing is because we saw it together, and we saw it probably like in 2022, 2023, maybe even.
Yeah, we got good.
So way after like the craziness of the peak of the pandemic, let's say. We finally started watching, and I kind of did intentionally because I just heard a lot of hype, and I wanted to walk away from the hype a little bit. Overall, I do like the show, but as I think I mentioned probably once or twice before on the podcast, if you're familiar with death game scenarios like Eden the Ease, Danganronpa, Battle Royale, you know how a death game scenario plays out. It's a death game scenario, plays out the way.
Future Diary too, right?
Yeah, Future Diary would also work as well. So yeah, this is not a new like idea at all. Like Battle Royale is an old ass from the 80s, I think, from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So the concept isn't new, and if you're familiar and watching much anime stuff, you're not going to be surprised by it. But if this is your first time, I guess I could understand that shockness from that kind of concept, right? If you die in the game, you die in real life. Even SAO, I guess, would work, or .hack, the original SAO.
Yeah.
But overall, I still liked it. I thought it had meaning and purpose at the end of the day, and it had focus. And like I said,
I'm sorry, you just reminded me of the Stay Fate Night.
That would also work.
Where they make fun of the main character because he's always like, I'm going to save you guys. And they're like, you have to kill people, right? Oh, no, killing kills people or something like that.
People die when they're killed. That's the most famous. God, he's such an idiot.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, Frank, because that works and that does apply. God, Fate Zero's great. Walk away after Fate Zero. That's my recommendation to people who are interested in the Fate franchise. But back to Squid Games. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it had a good ending that I felt like maybe we don't need a season 2. And there wasn't going to be a season 2. But it turns out, like I said, during a pandemic and the right storm and maybe the hype of Parasite with another famous Korean production came out in recent times. Maybe everyone was a little excited for anything that was coming out from South Korea. And so we got season 2 of Squid Game. And even the director, creator himself went like, "Oh, well, I wasn't planning for this, so okay, let's see what we can do here, right?"
Yeah.
And you kind of do feel that a little bit. I'll get to a little spoiler talk, or a little maybe we'll talk about in the spoiler talk in season 2, but we're not there just yet. But overall, I did like season 1, and I was curious to see what we were going to do with a season 2 with these characters in the story, because it felt, like I said, it didn't felt like we were going to have we didn't need a sequel, but we got one. So let's see if it could, beat the hangovers, the John Wicks of Hollywood, and see if we can have a good justification for it. So I'll now open up to you, gentlemen. Any spoilers of season 1 that you want to talk about? By the way, we have timestamps down below in the podcast, so if you haven't caught up just yet, we got timestamps just for you, so go jump around to where you feel comfortable. But gentlemen, any spoilers from season 1 that maybe you want to talk about, or hanging on your mind, or anything you were predicting before you dived into season 2?
I guess what I want to say, maybe not consider too much spoiler, but the idea is not new, but I think what I like about what they did was, at least from my point of view, I liked some of the characters, and that was what kept me in it. Like, hey, I felt it more on season 2, but still applies to season 1, where I kind of felt like I was watching Hell's Kitchen, and then you're always rooting. You're always rooting for that one chef, and like, damn it, he didn't make it.
Damn it.
Yeah,
that's true.
So yeah, and I guess I liked how it reminded me a little bit of Kaiji, where it's like, hey, all these guys have a problem. Like, they're gamblers. They're,
they're addicted.
They're in debt or something. Something that, made them go there. Because it's like, it felt like it was, in a way, they were kind of tricked, but
it was technically all by choice, right?
Yes. Because I would argue that maybe the first game was a little unfair, where like, hey, we kind of didn't know eliminated means eliminated.
Right.
So, but then, like, after that, they all came back on their own will. So, whose fault is it?
Right.
Yeah, I think near the end was a bit of a shocker, where that girl who I thought would survive doesn't. So I'm like, oh, snap, we're not getting season 2.
She's not going to be the sequel.
Kind of like that cutscene from the Rush Hour where...
yeah.
Oh, he's not going to be a Rush Hour too.
That's a deep cut, but I get
to. World.
So I mean, not much to spoil. It's just I enjoyed the characters, and it's cool following like their background story, and then like, oh, you know what? I'm rooting for this guy.
Right.
And then the stupid Sasuke guy. I hate him.
Stupid rival character, who's also my best friend.
Yeah, it's just that one last game with the little marbles.
Oh,
I'm like, how dare you? I don't even want to say the bad word, but that's what it is.
There, you know what it is.
You know what it is. If you think of a ill word, then add it to him.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Not much spoilers to say.
How about you, Miles? Anything for season 1 spoilers you want to get out?
Not much, because I think, unfortunately, like you said, like a lot of season 1 spoilers leads in season 2 kind of way, how they handle that transition. So I don't know which is talk about it here or wait till we get to season 2, because that, like you said, it was interesting. Like you said, they didn't really plan for another one, but money is good.
Money's good.
I think one of the actors said that, like, I didn't want to do it, but then I needed money.
Then I saw the check.
But I guess overall it is interesting, like, how more the main character, like, he kind of gets more serious, because most of the time as we introduced him, he was very kind of like chillaxed and kind of like, oh, I'm trying to get money, I'm trying to, like, invest for my daughter, things like that, trying to,
right,
and this was, well, same all my problems, I guess, right? But overall, like, you realize the more seriousness of the game as he came before, even more as he meets other contestants, and he sees their problems, their struggles, and unfortunately, like you said, if you die, you get no comebacks.
You die.
There you go. People die when they're killed.
Eventually, more so with the old man, that story, because that was like the marbles with him, and what he had to do, and he kind of just let him. He like the way how you let him have the last marble, and as they walked away, and he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say that. To me, that's when his character really changed in season 1, is after the events of that particular game. Because early on, like you said, he's like kind of happy-go-lucky, or kind of like, I think I'll be. He has the confidence that somehow he'll be okay. And then after the marble game, he goes like, wait a minute, fuck, maybe I won't be okay.
You know, because I think that whole bit when the old man, even before or after I know revealed secrets revealed, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that moment, like, because he was like, he was trying to con him, it's like, like, come on, we need to play,
Right. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's my turn, or
And-
something like that.
And then the old man's like, no, like, he was on it the whole time. He knew what he was
Right.
trying to
He
do.
calls him out on it later on.
And I said it's still the most very powerful scene of season 1 because it's the fact that the way it was shot and the way how he left knowing that the old man's gonna die right in that moment, and like the way how he walked out and then he goes fade to black, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good moment
Good
there.
dramatic beat.
Yeah, but no, I think going forward, like I said, it's a transition between season 1 and season 2 because it's interesting how it picks up from there. But we'll get into season 2, I guess.
All right, fair enough. I guess for myself, a little bit about season 1, spoiler talk, as Miles already hinted at, is for me my favorite episode because we kind of skimmed through. We didn't really sit down and watch every episode of season 1. But when we kind of got to that episode, the marble episode, to me that's my favorite episode of season 1 by far. And the reason why it is because of that is because, like I mentioned, it's the transition for our main protagonist to realize, like, wait a minute, this is not okay, and blah, 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 blah. But what I really, really liked about it is it becomes these one-on-one matches versus, are the main characters, if you will, and supporting cast versus other characters. And it really gives us a chance to really learn about each individual character and have feelings for them because, and here comes the spoilers. So we have the matchup with like the North Korea girl who's like the defector, right? And she has got the big tragic story as one of the main players, right? And she's playing another girl, and I don't remember exactly the details, but she's just kind of nonchalant, and they're just like, let's just be friends and this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't really like actually play the marbles. She just gives her the marbles, be like, okay, cool story, bro, and like I don't care. And it shows you like, oh, she's like willing to make that sacrifice, and that tells you a lot about both his characters, and it's the first time you get to see her talk about like her past, about leaving North Korea and all the kind of craziness that happens over there. So you see that, and then you actually get, if you want the intense match of like, what's going to happen, you get the antagonist gangster guy. He's fighting off like his new homie that he found in the games.
Yeah.
And then you realize they're fighting against each other. And so for a sec there, it almost feels like for Ipo when the two bad guys are fighting, the guy with the slinky arm and versus
Mashiba.
Miyata? Or what's his Ipo's first rival?
Oh, yeah, Mia.
Yeah. When those two fight, I like that fight because like I actually for a second I don't know who's gonna win this fight.
I know which fight you're talking about, but I was like, wait, which two bad guys?
Well, yeah, because antagonists, I guess I should say. The two antagonists fight each other. I thought that was a good drama beat.
I think there's another fight where two actual bad guys fight, and you're like, hey, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't gone there yet. Ipo. See, the problem is, Frank, if I catch up, what do I have to look forward to now? That's the scary part. We need a new season of Ipo, and then I'll check it out, Frank. I'll check it out.
New season of Ipo's on Netflix.
Is it?
Not new, but like, it wasn't available for a long time anywhere.
The new challenger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Frank.
That's because if they do that, then probably.
Well, yeah, because now you can watch Ipo everywhere, or like it's a lot easier to watch
everywhere.
Ipo.
Yeah, because I have been recommending Ipo to people, and they're like, I can't watch season 2.
Which is true.
And then so now I'm like, okay, well then we just gotta wait a little longer for season 3.
That's true. Well, that's a good point. You got a good point, Frank. If it hits the masses, then it's gonna happen. So
and
fingers
then maybe they like it, and they're like, hey, Netflix is like, hey, animate something new.
Right. If they did it for Squid Game, they could do it for Hajime no Ippo.
We know you have the content because there's
there's plenty of manga to go around. Let me tell you.
What is like 1,300 now?
Oh, speaking about One Piece. Oh yeah. But yes, sorry. Back to Squid Game. But yes, so you get that, like the intense match. And then, of course, our protagonist fighting against the old man because at the time we don't know the secret that we're going to get in a little bit. And yeah, of course, you get to the final battle or the final, I guess Battle Royale, the game, duel, right, with the knives, with him and his best friend.
Playing the Naruto background music
as
they're doing it.
A little bit, yeah. It's definitely Naruto Sasuke for sure. And of course, then he makes the ultimate sacrifice after realizing maybe he was in the wrong for this and that because his hands definitely have some blood on them as the games progress as well. So it only seems fitting. And yeah, and of course you get the outcome with his unique hairstyle and haircut at the end of the series. I think to really just sell to the fact of like now he's a changed man, a different person. But at the same time you get the end of that teaser at the end of season 1 of he gets the phone call and it's like, why don't you just get on the plane, have a good time, go see your daughter, and of course I will hunt you down to the end of the world, right? And then he turns around from the airplane, and now you get season 2, right? Like I said, I liked it, and like I said, particularly that was my favorite episode. And I think the payoffs and the secrets revealed about the old man who was tricking him this whole time, and the little final game they played together of like, is there still good in the world, right? So I did like that a lot, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of that theming motifs purpose a little bit. Hopefully later on in season 2? Question mark.
Do you think that they added that last scene just be like, hey, just in case we do a season 2?
I feel like they it's always one of those, we'll do it just to like let the viewers to imagine what ifs. I don't think they actually believe they were going to do a season 2, or they even wanted to do a season 2. I think they just did it because it's cool to do it.
Yeah, because it gives you like a sense like if in season 2 there is, but it not is like because he's no longer gonna take he's a changed person. He's gonna fight these guys because
right. His old self would have just been happy, took the money and walked away, right?
Yeah, but the fact that he cares about people, and he cares that people are dying in these games, things like that. Now he's more drive to find these people and end the games for real this time.
No, that's how I see it, and I think technically that's, if we looked up the Googled it and looked behind the scenes magic, I think that's what technically happened. All right, gentlemen, so that leads us to season 2 of Squid Game, Squid Games.
More money,
more money, more problems. So yeah, I guess before we get to the spoiler talk, we'll just talk about how we liked it. Would maybe things that are early on spoilers is okay, but nothing like, I'd say like maybe the first 3 episodes when okay, shocker, I'm gonna help you everyone out here. He goes back to the games.
What? No.
Because early on it doesn't seem like that is not going to happen, but of course if you just do a quick Google search or you live on the internet, you're going to see, oh wait, he goes back in the games. So that is okay to talk about, gentlemen. Maybe the outcome of the games of who or who may not survive. I'll say we'll save that for the spoiler talk when we get there. But we'll start with Frank. Frank, what did you think early on about season 2 of Squid Game? How were you feeling about it?
Just early on, not overall.
You could do a little overall. Yeah, overall's fine.
Okay. So early on, I was enjoying it. I think this happened early on. I thought it was really cool how in season 1 you were following characters and then you're like, oh, hey, these are the people that are playing the game. And then one of the characters is like not playing the game. It's one of the employees there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh,
the masked man.
So that's how they recruit him. I'm thinking. I don't know. I thought that early on it was fine. I kind of feel like his change of character was a little too sudden for me, but it's fine, I guess. Didn't have too much problem with it. It was just like that would actually happen to me.
Right.
So I'm like, I get it, because I think when he won in season 1, he didn't use the money for like 2 years until he ran into the old guy, and then he was like, I'm gonna hunt you down, which is fine. I don't know. Just to me, it's too much. Like, I get it, you don't like it, but why so mad? They like
got a lot of money.
You knew the rules.
Right.
You agreed to play. Yeah, it sucks what they're doing, but
he did go back.
It was everybody's choice. It's kind of like a little unfair the way he's feeling about it. Because I mean, they could have killed him a bunch of times.
If they wanted to, they could have.
And they let him back in.
That's true. They did.
So did they let him back in for entertainment purposes, or are they just dumb? Or
I think they're trying
to be continued.
I think they were trying to prove a point about something, but that's my initial impression about it.
So early on, I'm enjoying it. I'm like, okay, cool. I like to see where stories go. Kind of when he gets to the games and late in the games, there are things I will talk about during spoiler, but I was not a big fan of. But overall, I liked it a lot, and it's I mean, if you like season 1, then I think you should watch this one.
Okay, well, that's a good review, or that's a good I guess hope for people who enjoyed season 1, I should say, because there's me, I break them and tell them it sucks. Stay tuned, maybe not. All right, Miles, what about you? So, how'd you feel about early on without spoiler talks about season 2?
Well, the thing with me was that I think it was like Frank mentioned, it is kind of drawing because it kind of like sped time really fast in the beginning of the show. Like we just passed 5-something years, and then we kind of like as we
was it that long?
Yeah, because like
that was like 2 years.
It was 2 years before he used the money. And then it was
right. Well,
and
and
that was 3 years after that till then he got they were trying to find the the guy who's trying to sell the game. So the
Oh,
the
okay.
black
Yeah, I
set
guess if
guy.
you add it from when he last entered the games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was total 5 because we're in.
Right.
But it is kind of drawing, like, because even there the. You know, from season 1, he was more happy-go-lucky, and then now he's like a hard, like, battle veteran. It's like he's seen it all, he knows it all.
He bought himself a level until.
But like, he was like, he had guns, he had stuff. He was ready to go, like, all out on these people.
He had the solo leveling transformation.
He did.
Yeah.
basically. He grew 3 feet taller.
Yeah, and his chin got a little bit bigger too.
So
around.
sharp.
It
But-
actually happens.
But it was interesting there. But like I said, eventually goes back to the games, and I do like them. Like, they started a little teaser of like, oh no, here we go again with the same games, and then no, but we're doing something different. So sort of were more creative and trying not to do exactly the same thing. But it kind of teased like, oh, here we go. The fact how that was going to kind of like, oh, we're doing this over again, so he knows everything, but then no, he doesn't know everything because then the game changes overall.
Mm-hmm.
But like Frank mentioned, the issue problem with this is that a lot of the characters don't seem as interesting as the old ones do, or they seem like they're like cheap carbon copies of characters from the first season. Minus of course, the rap bro and his
You mean Thanos?
yeah, Thanos, yeah.
I hope they'll remember him.
But it is getting a little messy at the end, like how that kind of worked out all around, because they were trying to add some elements from season 1 back in, but not as well. But but like you said, right? It didn't feel like what they planned for it. Kind of like so. But I guess overall, it's okay. It is. Well, you invest your time in from the season 1. You probably should season 2 to see where this ends. But I think it depends how. Kind of like Eden in the East. It depends how it ends. I think that's where we get like is an overall satisfying series.
Don't watch the movies is my recommendation for that one. Anything else, Miles?
No, that's it for me for now.
Alrighty, well then I will tell you what I think about this season 2. It's okay. Kind of like Miles was suggesting, and as I was suggesting, is it does seem early, especially early on, it's like, oh fudge, I never thought about how does these games work? How does the man who plays the game when you slap down the beanbag sacks and have to flip it over, what does he do? Why does he do it? And this and that. And so it's like asking questions, and I guess similar to like John Wick series, right? Because in John Wick, it's like there's this hotel where the assassins hang out at, right? And then you get to like John Wick 2 and 3, and they explain, well, this happens managed by the table, and you sit underneath the table, and all these like gobbledygook things. You're just kind of like, huh?
Are we our table? Are we against the table? Am I the table? I don't know.
So you definitely feel that. So it does, it does not feel seamless, is the way I would describe it. And the other thing is some of the early on in the episodes before he gets into the games, we deal with the episode with, in particular, that guy who tests people out to see if they're fit to go to the games. I thought it was a little weird, the juxtaposition of like we're looking, because they're talking about like we've been searching these subway stations for like over 2 years looking for this guy to play this game because we know this is what he does in season 1, right? So they're looking for this guy, and so they're looking, and he's spending thousands, if not millions, well, it's like billions of won. The transfer rate between American dollars is bananas, by the way. And so when they do finally find the guy in like episode 2, they have this like very comical beat of like they're like, oh, he was in line this whole time, and which is funny. And I liked, but the problem is in that same episode, they go from this huge comedic beat to actually find this guy to like, now it's Russian roulette, fellas, and then let's spin and let's see who's gonna die today. So it's very jarring to go from this side to that side of like, comedy and drama and seriousness and this and that. So early on, I was kind of nervous for the show, what's gonna happen. Thankfully though, when he does enter the games, I feel like it's a little bit safer and a little bit more stable, right? Because this is what we expect to happen in this show, because that's what they told us in season 1. And I do like the changes they brought in season 2, because the difference is in season 1, season 2 is when people die and they want to quit the games, they can, because they do that in season 1, but they don't get to, any of the living participants don't get to carry the money. Only the dead get to get the money. But in season 2, they changed the rule where they actually split the pot among all the winners in the game. And I think that is a good change for ads for dramatic beats that come later on the season, which we'll talk about probably in the spoiler talk. The weird thing about it is the whole Black Mask guy, who is also the I guess spoiler season one. But that's season one spoiler.
Okay.
So fair warning. Is the Black Mask is the brother of the cop from season one, and he decides to take over the old man's role in season two and participate in the games, and even takes the number one spot, which is a little bit of an eye roller to be honest, but I get it. But at the same time, woof. And so yeah, it does seem like what's the point of that? And we'll get into the spoiler talk a little bit more about that. But that is kind of interesting question mark. It's something that I didn't expect coming. So that's could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. That's pretty much it about early on season 2. And I guess the one thing I'll say before I get to spoilers is I originally thought if I was the director, what would I vision a season 2 of Squid Games? Do I have him literally do the games over again, play out the same, and see if he could convince people this or that? Or will I surprise them? When would be the right time to spring up this surprise, right? And everything I had in my mind did not happen. And as I already teased before, that may or may not be a good thing, depending on it. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe in the conversation, I could maybe finally decide how I feel about it. But overall, without getting into spoilers, yeah, I think it does good enough. I think it does flesh out it answers a couple of questions that maybe some people might have had from the first season. I personally didn't have, but maybe if you did, you'll be satisfied. I get that because I can be that person. And yeah, I think it's curious to see what he does in his new version that we've seen in the season 2. And to see what he's learned and hasn't learned, and what's he going to try to, take away by entering the games a second time, and this and that, and his new friends along the way who are also working in the subplot line. But yeah, like I said, I guess I overall liked it. I didn't love it, but I also did love season 1, so I guess a little bit. But technically, I probably like season 1 a little bit more at the moment. But like I said, there's still a season 3 or 2.5. We'll see whatever they're going to label that as. That maybe
the final season. Yeah,
the final season, right? Yeah. Oh god, Attack on Titan. We'll see where it lands when that comes. But yes, Squid Games, not the worst thing to be watching. I'll say that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to go to full spoilers of season 2 of the Squid Games, or Squid Game. There's no S. You think there'd be an S, but there isn't. I'm going to fight. We're going to start a petition. We're going to make that happen. Mm-hmm. Third season. I'm calling it out. Third season, Squid Games. Whoa. So yes, timestamps down below if you want to go skip ahead. And we'll to show you what we're going to talk about next time on the podcast. But for everyone who's here and ready, has done their homework as well, let's now dive into Squid Game Season 2 spoiler talk. Woo! All right, Frank, what do you want to share with us and the rest of the audience?
All right, so just listed up a few things.
Notes.
He's got it. He's ready.
Because I forget. I have bad memory. Anyways, so I was enjoying early on where his purpose wasn't to join the games. He just wanted to stop them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a nice use of money, I guess, if you feel like it's blood money, but you're using it to stop the games. I don't hate it. And then with the recruiter, I kind of find it weird that there's only one recruiter.
It seems like it so far.
And then which I did feel like they took too long when they saw him. Like, dude, you've been looking for him. Like, you have to go across the train station. He might get away. Start running. So they took a bit long with that. Which was whatever for cinematic effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once they find him, I didn't expect him to be the Joker. Like
basically,
like
yeah,
a psychopath.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, damn. Are you sure you're just a sub character?
They played him up.
I know. And then like I said earlier with the number 11, I thought that was cool learning about her. I didn't think she was gonna be that crazy. Like it's kind of like she goes back and forth. Like, are you doing it because you lost your daughter, or you like killing, but now you're killing for mercy? It's kind of like went back and forth for her. What else? The cop. Am I crazy, or was he holding out on the police? Because if I'm not mistaken, they were asking him like, "Hey, did you see anybody?" And I guess he didn't say who it was because it's his brother.
Yes. No,
Oh,
he
okay.
kept that. Yeah, he kept that to
Oh,
himself.
okay. All right. And then I just wanted to clarify that for me.
Right. No.
The captain
Oh,
of the boat.
right. Yes.
I didn't see nothing unusual until they said, "Oh, like it seems like somebody gave out this information," which I don't feel like they would know that.
Right.
Because I think what was the first thing that happened that it kind of made it seem like, oh, when they found the chip, from the tooth. And,
Oh, yes.
and they were like, well, somebody must have. I'm like, or they could have just checked them thoroughly.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean there's a mole.
The
but,
fake out.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how they were so sure that somebody sold them out when, if I was like an evil organization, I would scan for technology.
Right. Yes. It's GPS is a thing that's been established, and we could get the AirPod tags exist.
Yeah, so I'm like, it doesn't seem that of a stretch that they would just find it naturally.
Yes.
Especially such a big.
I would argue the weird part is he didn't double check to see I'm biting my own GPS came out right there to see if he still had it. He just went like, oh, it's still there. And he just checked his tooth. But like, I know they did for like, cinematic drama's sake, but it's just like, double check. This is a serious situation we're in.
Yeah, so that part, I was like, I don't know how you would say there's a mole because of that, like, for certain.
Right.
But then if you think that, I'm like, the number one suspect is the captain.
They've been doing this for 2 years and they haven't found this. Like, I know Korea, there's a lot of islands and a big ocean out there. But after 2 years, you feel like you should be able to narrow it down, right?
And it's like, you hired these guys. And this is the guy you didn't hire who found you possibly in the island. So it's like, maybe he's didn't really find you. This is just the brother sending this guy like, hey, take care of my brother.
Right, make sure, exactly, right.
But don't sell us out. Keep him away.
Yeah, give him to all the other islands.
So that's kind of like, hey, are you sure you're a detective?
Yeah,
he's not the greatest.
So that's the part that kind of made me.
That's why you end up going to the traffic school.
It made me wonder.
I like the
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Bomb door to the bomb.
Yeah, I'm still confused by that part when they get to the fake island or the other fake island.
Yeah, the door.
Because the original fake island was like the fisherman guy, and they just put bombs on one door.
Well, the way I saw it is that the captain knew exactly where they were going, and they're like, "Hey, go put which was like, wow, they're fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what the fuck? Like, these guys are well organized out here. They're serious about these death games out here.
Send the recruits from Island 37.
Right? I guess that's what happened.
The ones on hold.
Standby.
Yeah. Other than that, the 001 guy, I don't know his name. I feel like in Korean shows and animes, they all have the same name to me.
Yeah, I forget.
Jim.
They're all
John Ying.
Yoni?
Not
Young. Maybe?
Let's not. No, I'm not gonna get it. Anyways,
there's gonna be a quiz after this, Frank.
001 guy.
The bad guy.
Number one.
I kind of felt like he was in the game, but at the same time, he was the other black guy, the black mask guy. I'm like, wait, he can't. So, like, is he going back and forth, or is that a new guy? Because I was thinking.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
I guess he's not going back and forth.
No, it's a different guy.
And so I'm like, okay.
And they're running the side hustle.
So you mentioned it earlier, like, you're not sure why he took that. I mean, I kind of get it, or from my point of view, it's like, it's kind of, I don't know if you've ever been to a Catholic retreat or like a religious retreat.
Okay.
Where sometimes, so you're in groups. I don't know. This is the best example I can think of.
Okay.
You're in groups and like everybody's like, okay, this is the new thing, and you do a bunch of religious stuff.
Right.
But in one of the ones I went to, each group had a mole. And yeah, it had a mole someone who's been there, and they kind of like guide the group from undercover.
Oh, I see.
So I feel like they have a mole in every game to kind of make sure things go along the way they want it to. Maybe vote in the direction that. So that's how I felt, because I felt like in the first one the old man was kind of like, the decisions he made was like, come on, you're not really helping out here.
Yeah, I thought in season 1, I interpret as his selfish dying wish, because he's got nothing to lose, right? He's gonna die anyway. So he's like, oh, fuck it, I'll just play the games myself.
Yeah, that, and then also like when they need to win, he kind of knew
Right.
answers. Like, hey, we gotta play this game like this.
Right.
And so that's how I saw the mole last season and this season.
True. Yeah. To me, I always thought because every time they were about to play a game in season 1, he always knew what the game was. Like, oh, it's this old school game I used to play with my grade school friends back in the day.
Yeah. So
you're kind of like, huh?
The way I see it for this season, it's like he's there to make sure people die because I guess he needs to deliver it for his wife,
Right.
which I thought was dead.
Well, yeah, because they talk about briefly in season 1, and they mention again in season 2 of his tragic backstory, and that's why he runs the games. Because kind of like this thing, well, spoiler talk, is I liked about it is both him in season 2 and the old man in season 1. They play these games because they both lost it all, and so life means nothing to them.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
Trust me, Frank, trust me.
So that's how I saw it. The one part I don't like about the mole is that he chose the number 1 number when it would have been fine. I guess maybe there wasn't time to change it, but it would have been fine if the main character wasn't there.
Right.
Because he's like, wait a minute. Number 1 was a mole in season 1.
Right, that last guy I saw.
I feel like that should have rang a bell for the main character. Like, hey, maybe I should watch out on number 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Especially he's been surviving this whole time. And
He's quite helpful. He keeps greeting himself to me every time. That seems weird.
Yeah. So like I said,
I agree.
with the Hell's Kitchen things, my favorite characters always don't make it.
Damn it.
I got so mad when that girl died and the guy was just watching. The girl.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you jerk. Like
jump down, you fool.
Or when he didn't take her hand.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I get it. Maybe
Man,
he's just scared, but you know, it's like
at some point you got to step up.
She was worth it. That's how I saw it.
No, I agree.
All right, now to I guess I'll skip this part for now. The new games. No, I have to talk about the new.
No.
No.
I love the mom.
Oh, the mom. Yeah.
I love the mom. She was just so like, I don't know. She reminded me of mom. And then there's this one part when the best friend, I forgot what the mom did, but then he's like, oh God, I miss my mom. And then she was, you don't remember?
Oh yes.
I thought that part was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was a really cool character. The son sucks.
He could be better.
Down to the main character. I'm fine with him being this like, I am the new Batman and I'm gonna billionaire who has all these weapons and I'm gonna fight the crime. That's fine. You know, he's doing it the right way. Just put all money in it and because the plan, for as far as I can tell, was not for him to go to the games.
Right.
It was just to find the people and take them down.
Right.
And
send in the squad to take them out.
Yeah, and I don't even think he was planning on killing them because he said like killing is not gonna solve these things.
Right. I don't think so either.
So I'm like, okay, cool. He has an idea of what he wants to do. Doesn't really want to go back to the game. Going to the games was an accident.
Right. It was like Plan B, I think they say.
The part that annoys me is once he's in the game. First of all, he's like too quiet. And then, like, suddenly, oh my God, you know, I gotta warn everybody. Dude, you could have warned them, like,
way before.
You could have, like, before they all signed the agreement, you could have been like, by the way, eliminate means dying.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've been to these games. So he kind of did it, like, last minute, which I'm like, okay, fine. But then he was so annoying in that first game, like, stop.
Right.
Stop. Okay, we get it. It's green light, red.
Right.
Like, we get it if they stop. So it's like, you don't have to, like, guide them so much. Just tell them they're going to see what's happening. You don't have to be like, you know, that annoying coach from the sideline that just keeps yelling all the time. Like, let them play. Let them play. So that part annoyed me. He wanted to, like, save everyone. He got this God complex or something. Like,
right.
Save everybody. Which, okay, it was a little too much for me. It was like, did you think nobody was going to die?
Yeah, it's not realistic at all.
So, that's fine. I didn't like how he was like, especially when all the characters were like, "Hey, you've been here. You gotta tell." Like, dude, you guys voted to stay, and you're blaming me because
right.
like I have an X, you have a circle, so you should shut up because it's your fault we're here.
Basically.
So they were mad at him because that was dumb. And then they got okay. I'm like, the new games was a refresher. Stupid witch annoys me. Like, just somebody slapped the hell out of her.
I don't know. I don't understand her purpose, and she annoys me, and I don't like her at all. I get they're trying to make her kind of like the other like female antagonist from season 1, but like it misses everything.
She was just like just saying bad stuff about everybody for no reason.
Yeah.
Like was she like a prophet? Like, I know what's gonna happen to you. You're all gonna die. Well, yeah, no shit. No shit.
It's a death game scenario, dummy.
The part where I think they missed, and I don't understand it. So the whole time, the main character is like, hey, let's vote to get out of here. Let's vote to get out of here. Let's just, we need to stop. Cool, because that wasn't the plan to stay here. And then when seemingly they had more votes, all you have to do is survive. We'll get out of here. He's all like, no, why don't we just attack the masked men now and take down the game from... No, that's your plan. You were trying to save these people, and now you're coming up with a plan that's gonna kill a lot of people.
Right.
So it's like, what was the point of trying to save everybody in the first game if you're like, we have to do it at all costs?
Right.
So it's like, I feel like there wasn't a scene for that justified that change in plan or in mindset. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but
I think they were trying to push this narrative of like, it's either we do this or we're going to lose and we're going to all die. So we might as well take our chance and stop the games. I guess in a way where they're trying to be like, oh, well, the numbers are in our favor we'll lose a couple people by fighting against them, but we'll save all the people who didn't want to even save them, right? I guess that was the justification for it. Is literally the numbers game?
No, because the one of the plans was because the 001 was like, hey, the other team's gonna attack because that's the kind of group they are.
Right.
They're down in numbers. They need to take us out to win to stay in the game. Why don't we attack them first, and catch them off guard, and that way we.
Why not make that? Why not do that?
Yeah,
because that'd be wrong, Frank.
No, I mean. Because that was the plan. That's the plan I would have gone with. Because what's safer, attacking gunmen?
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Frank. Yes.
And this guy's like, well, you know what? This is our last chance to take them down.
Have a shootout, Frank.
And it's like, hey, that's your plan. We just want to get out of here. That's where it was like, I get it why he would do it.
Right. Well, but you got to remember there wasn't a lot of people who followed him though.
It was
a handful.
It was a handful of people that were willing to fight with him to stop the games.
Yeah, but it's not like they told. Like it was just that group. But it's not like he asked everybody. Hey, by the way, should we fight the people with guns or should we fight? I don't think they asked him. They think
no, he did.
They asked everybody in the group.
He asked. Yeah, they had a whole scene where they even asked the people on the who want to keep going the games. Hey, we're gonna because they take out like the first squad that comes in and they kind of take control of the scene. And he talks to everyone being like, hey, we're going to put an end to the games, period. Who wants to join us?
Yeah.
No, that's after.
Oh, you talking about before when they start killing each other.
Yeah. Let all these guys die.
And yes, he did do that.
So that's not fair.
No, it's not. And that's the funny part because even the bad guy even points that out. And that's what the bad guy's trying to point out. Like, oh, because like the bad guy feels like, to me, the way I interpret the scene is the bad guy's being like, oh, so long as it's okay for you to break the rules and blah, 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 blah.
I feel like it would have been better if like he never tried to save anybody from the start.
Right.
And he was just infiltrate. Like he didn't tell nobody he was there. It's just, I'm just trying to survive. I know people are going to have
and
to
wait
die.
for an opportunity.
And then it would have made more sense for him to suggest that. He should have said, you know what, guys? My main goal has been to take these guys out. I know it's unfair to ask you to risk your life for me.
Right.
Or for this cause, but I feel like I gotta take this chance.
Right. He technically does that, but yes, it's after the skirmish. I feel like he did
a good job to.
Well,
after it has to be before.
Yeah, before people start dying is important. I will give you that, Frank. I will give you that.
Having said that, I enjoyed it. Just his motivations were a little off for me.
Yeah.
And then the stupid cop, like, damn, you're useless this season.
Wow.
You're just looking around and. Nope, not there. Nope, not there.
This is why he went back to the traffic squad because he just didn't cut it.
I don't know. I thought he was gonna do something else, but it's just like
they're just chilling on that boat.
We gotta show him on the scene, so let's just say he's searching. He's
still looking real hard.
Still looking.
Not that hard though, because the games keep on happening.
He's gonna call him. Hey, what's up? I'm still looking. All right, I think I said all I wanted to say.
Alrighty then, let's pass it over to Miles. Miles, what any spoiler talk or thing you want to discuss here on the podcast?
To me, I guess it was interesting that he did have his buddy there with him. Because buddy, his gambling buddy.
Oh, his racing buddy, his horse racing buddy.
Yeah, and that now was in the matter because I think now that was the purpose that he wanted to make sure he would survive.
Right, to motivate him, and then I guess even the audience, right? Because we remember this guy from season 1, right? Because a lot of them didn't make it from season 1.
And I do like the fact that even that dynamic because he was trying to bring him more. I guess bring him back down to normal level because he was like telling like, man, what are you trying is hero complex he was developing.
Right.
It was more like that's not like that's you. You're really more funny or more. This doesn't seem like you to be the serious.
Where's your old you?
And he said a little bit. He broke him a little bit here and there, right? But I think the moment at which like because at the end, he kills him off, right? Because like there was a cost to for him being a hero, like the mask guy was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it kind of reminded me a lot, kind of like Ray Zero in a way. The fact that he had to learn from his mistake, from being too gun holdy per se. Thinking like he knows everything, thinks he can convince people. He was trying to convince himself that he could convince other people to join the cause, but like a lot of the people that were circles were like they just see the money. They really don't care about other people.
He assumed everything was going to work out in his favor.
Yeah.
He assumed people weren't going to... Well, yeah, I agree. Because he assumed after the first game, we're going to get out of the games. And no, that didn't happen.
Even more so after when they had the whole the bathroom fight.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like here we go with like the Montagues and the Capulets over here, like
a little bit.
And then half of them being drugged out of
mind. He draw his sword on me, sir. It was West Side Story.
Yeah,
it's similar to the Beat It video.
That would work too. That would work as well.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah, but the fact when they had the fight there, the bathroom fight, and that's a big one. That's a big bathroom.
I mean, there's a lot of contestants to be fair,
but there was a lot of space to make sure to get all the action there, though. Like to make sure when they designed that bathroom, and make sure there's a little far here that we have open space here, so that way you could punch in here and there. Overall, it's just like it was a sense of trying to bring the fact that at the end of the day, he was too busy trying to save everybody that I guess he lost sight of the real issue, because he was trying to be rational with these people when he really should be rational per se. But
4 miles is dying out here. Someone help him. Someone breathe him.
Sorry, but it just at the end of the day, it had to happen because he had to be back down to normal, I guess per se, because he was like the first season, he was more like kind of loosey goosey, kind of going for it. And he got really serious, but this season he got too serious and needed to be brought back down to earth, I guess.
I can see that.
He wasn't practical. He wasn't smart. Is basically that's the problem, or at least that's how I did. Because he, like you, I think everyone we will mention the fact that like he thinks he's trying to play a hero. Even the guy with the black mask is like, "Oh, are you done playing hero?" And that's the problem. Is he just? And it's so funny and weird, which I'll get to in my turn, but I'll say real quickly. Is he, for a guy who's gone through this whole experience, became the champion, won the games, right? All of a sudden now he can't remember what it's like to be poor, have nothing, be desperate, and to play these death game scenarios. And it is a little hard to swallow, especially if you just watch season 1. You jump into season 2, it does seem weird that he cannot understand why they want to keep going to the games.
Yeah. Speaking of not being smart, I feel like I would have shut up about what games are coming up, because you're being watched, and they're probably hearing you say these things. I'm like, oh, now we're going to change the games because you just keep blabbing.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that ends my thoughts. You want?
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm surprised. What do I want to talk about? So yes, I guess we were talking about the fact of it does seem weird that our protagonist does kind of dumb things early on, to be honest. And as Frank already teased, the fact of he went through this whole experience, and he turns out at the end of season 1, he finds out the old man who was number 1 was the inside man this whole time and is the real showrunner behind all these death game scenarios, this and that. He goes, there's another number 1 here, and he befriends me so quickly. No problem here. I'll trust him with everything. It does seem very suspicious, because instantly I would have been like, number 1 again, eh? Yeah, he should have been like, I don't know. It should have been like the opposite of his number or something like that, I feel like.
Well, he should have been number 1.
Well, that too, yeah. That's the thing. So yeah.
He was so suspicious outside the game, and now he's inside. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's so bizarre for a guy who was like super paranoid and did all these things. He bought illegal guns, smuggled them to them, bought a whole love hotel so he could have the whole building to himself, have a practice shootout, buy this GPS, spend thousands, if not millions of dollars on like loan sharks and his henchmen to check for 2 years each single main station out in Korea, this and that. And then he just took a couple stupid pills, I guess, when they knocked him out along the way to the death games. And it just is a little bit weird because, once again, the information he knows in season 1, he doesn't really take into season 2. And as Frank already mentioned, of like, this is a death game scenario. Turning them before they sign the death contract would be a great idea. He never does that.
that tooth was his intelligence. It was a wisdom tooth.
Yeah.
What's the wisdom? And that was like a 10 plus in intelligence right there easily. He lost it all.
They came up with debuffs.
That was it was like the save state got thrown away with the tooth. I absolutely forgot everything that happened season 1. So yeah, and then the other thing I thought that was weird, and I was kind of hoping for, and this might be me as a fake writer, is I would have liked it, or the way I would have played it out is in the first game with the red light, green light. Is because the whole time he was like, wait a second, guys, you gotta listen to me. This is a death game scenario. If we're gonna die, if you get caught in this and that, right? And to me, as if I'm the evil mastermind, be like, oh, this guy's gonna ruin my fucking Squid Games and this and that. How much money it costs me to run these every year or every season, whatever it is. We never find out just yet.
126 million won, apparently.
And what I would have instantly to discredit him in the first games is no one dies. Everyone just plays it. Oh, he's eliminated. Oh, he's out. He can't have the money. He can't have, and they separate them into a different room and they kill him quietly, right? But unknowns to them. And then in game 2, oh, wait a minute. Oh, fuck, it is a death game scenario and shit gets real.
That's very interesting. But kind of cutting you off a bit.
Go for it.
I always felt that in season 1, the doll was shooting them. Because, it seemed like
it was automatic, like
very,
machines.
very precise.
Mm-hmm.
And now, 246.
Take the shot.
And I feel like, wow, that's a lot of, coordination.
These guys are really good. These guys, they run a Call of Duty. There's all Call of Duty teams. That's why they have this.
And they were trying to bring
squad
out.
commands.
I know that those people are also contestants or other.
But they're real people in the real
people.
world that come and participate in these death games.
I just felt like maybe more in season 1, like they died real quick, like
right
away. And then right here, it's like, okay, this one, go shoot it. I feel like that would take a little long, like.
Speaking about the funny part is when I saw that the first time around season 1, I thought it was people shooting them out, with just like you take the shot, like what we see. But then the second time we watched it, the second time before season 2, I was like, oh, it's machines. Machines are doing this because they're so quick and precise.
Yes.
But then we find out that it is people. So I'm kind of like, what the fuck? I was kind of surprised, just like,
maybe the people are machines. Ooh.
Yeah, they're just like I said, they've got great squad communication skills going on there.
Yeah, because how do you decide which one shoots which one?
Right. Yeah.
And then like what if they move a little or you shoot the wrong person?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I guess the machine tells them. Makes you think a little bit too much.
Logistics are a little different for me for the workout.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's an overall. Basically, that's the kind of the problem early on in season 2. If you stop and think about it, it doesn't really stick. Why do they even invite him back to the games? Why is the Black Mask Man even participating in the games? There's a lot of things that just seem we're doing it for dramatic sake. And it kind of takes away from the vibe of season 1 where it's like a real thing and death game and this and that. And it becomes more of just a dramatization of what this idea or concept originally started as. It feels like early on.
I don't know. I think more so in season 1, I feel like they follow the rules a bit more.
Yes.
I feel like the contestants are there because they're desperate.
Right.
And then I guess in this season, you kind of got to see what kind of people work for them, which were not really all there. Where maybe there's just... I feel like the contestants are people that are desperate. And I feel like the employees are like people who gave up on life and just don't care no more. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
Because that girl, she was just like, you know what? My daughter's dead.
I need the money.
Screw it.
Well, the way I interpret, because everyone tells her that she lost her child, but she wants to believe that she does, and that's why she participates in these death games. Because I guess their insurance and their payroll. It's a great. I would like. It's a great seasonal job. I'll tell you that.
I want to see the numbers. I want to see.
It must be good because
show me the paycheck.
They must be paying very well. No, and no taxes too. So right there, that's a bonus instantly, if you ask me.
Basically, the whole year off.
You just work
work
one time a year,
1 week.
1 week, only 6 games. That's like 7 days.
You know what? It's making more sense now.
You know what? Maybe I should maybe I would look good in a square mask. Let me try it out.
Just wear a blindfold. When
I've been told pink is my color, so let's see. Let's give it a shot. Let's see.
Speaking of square mask, that square mask that's all you need to get into the security.
Yeah, I always assume, especially after you see season 1, that the scanner doesn't read the mask, but it reads the person behind the mask.
Yes, that's what I thought, because you, especially in this season, you can kind of see through it.
Right. They show that more this time around, but nah. So it's a little, like I said, the more you think about it, it's like, wait a minute. But after it gets like the first game through, and you get to like the second, third game where they say, no, we're going to change it up, which thank God they did, because I was hoping they were going to do that, but because they started off with the first game and they played off in a weird way, I was kind of nervous that they were just going to do that again, but whew, so that was good to see. But I guess, because I'm trying to remember, because what's the second game they play in season 2?
It was, good thing you mentioned it, because I wanted to talk about that one. It was the one where they were like all joined together. I think it was called Six Legs.
Oh, the rally,
Good
yes.
golly, that game was hard.
Jesus, 5? Was it 5 minutes?
5 minutes for 5 games?
They all are dead. There's like one team surviving that. Let me tell you.
The one thing I didn't understand from that one was like, why were they going in pairs of groups? Because I thought they just, as long as you beat the other team.
Right.
And then they both die. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was the other head scratcher part of like, yeah, exactly. To play, as long as you beat the other team, you win. It's like, no, you have to. Everyone has to beat all these challenges in 5 minutes.
It's 456 contestants, so they have to whittle them down somehow.
But I'm just saying, 5 minutes. I feel like the average is like best like 7.5 minutes, and that's a hell of a run to get that, to do all those weird little tasks perfectly in that amount of time. Damn, that's tough.
I did like the part when the song played, and they were like, when the last team was going, and then they were like, one shot.
Right, perfect.
And then the song was like, and they were all happy, like,
yeah, we got like Wizard of Oz and shit, right?
1, 2, 1, 2,
1, 2.
That was cool. I like that.
So yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah, so multiple things on that particular game. The first one, boy, is it so obvious that the bad guy is the bad guy, because man, oh man, does he absolutely like ham it up and just absolutely choke on his game, and everyone else is nailing it, and like he just can't get it right. So to me, I'm like, again, if I'm the protagonist, wait a minute, this guy,
that was pretty bad.
Because he doesn't choke a little bit, he like has a fucking meltdown. And
I wonder why he does that though.
I don't know, but we'll find out. I interpret it as he is hamming it up to kill time and make drama for drama's sake. But maybe the other way to interpret it is that's just his personality, where he's just a fucking crazy person. And when he loses a game, he fucking loses his brain. Maybe. I don't know. I personally thought he was doing it to potentially take out the protagonist. Maybe. I don't know.
Because it made sense to me that he was sabotaging the game, because all they need to do is like, hey, you guys lose, bam, 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 and just not shoot him.
Right.
So they wouldn't find out.
Right.
But then at the end, when he's the one who goes for the last kick,
yeah,
I'm
he
like,
gives him a push.
I don't know no more.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's the problem with that scene, is it could go either way because with that last fact. And the other weird thing is because you don't know exactly who is in on the act, knowing that he's the main bad guy participating in the games, right?
That's true, because they're not with him. Oh.
Exactly, because you also see that also in season 1, which is also a little confusing, because whoever is supposed to kill the old man in season 1 doesn't kill him, obviously, right? But how do you know who was that person that was in on the act to not actually kill him? It's weird because also there's certain scenes where they kind of know each other's faces because of the employees that worked there several, years doing this event. But like they all wear the mask, so they're secrety, but also it's not the greatest secret. And even the side hustle from season 1 returns, and apparently it's bigger than we thought it was in season 1.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, to say that, I think it's simple answer is like, hey, he could just say these guys are gonna work this area. Simple as that. But the other part that you mentioned right now is like you can't tell who's who.
Yeah.
But in this season they're like, who was it? Oh, 11. Oh, they have numbers.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah. If you look really carefully, it's on their masks or something. I don't know.
I don't know. So I think it's just like, I mean, I'm guessing he's the boss. And he could just be like, hey, John and Maria, and
Right.
can you work this part today, this shift?
Yeah, and make sure I don't get killed because I don't want to die today.
Yeah, so I think that's the quick and easy
it's
answer.
dramatic.
Right, but the problem is if you come to think that as the viewer, then doesn't the whole point of like the old man joining the whole point of him joining the games was like, oh, I don't care about life, fuck it, I'm gonna die anyway, I'm gonna play the games anyway. But if he plays the games and then when he loses he just quits, it kind of defeats that whole like kind of story beat a little bit.
I didn't see it that way because the whole time I felt like the old guy was not fearing of losing and dying.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was more like, I want to enjoy this with my son, and then like, yeah, because I didn't really, because I watched it the second time around. I'm like, it kind of like knowing everything. I'm like, I guess he could be like not worried about nothing, because it just felt to me that he was not worried about dying, and the whole thing. Yes, he was dying. The whole thing is like, I'm gonna tell you the story so you feel bad about me.
Right.
But I don't know. I get it. I could see it your way, but I didn't interpret it that way the first time around. So.
Yeah, I guess now that you mention, I can also see your way. Well, there you go. Understanding here on the podcast. Oh, how nice. How nice.
Should we shake hands? Everyone, come on, press the X. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of these Squid Games. Let's get out of this podcast. But yeah, so yeah, that's like to me that's my biggest overall problem with season 2 is just there's a lot of things that seems very obvious, and maybe where I'm saying that because I'm here on my couch watching the show as the viewer, but it seems really obvious that this game is not as clean and straight as our protagonist thinks it is, and his foolishness, as I mentioned before, of not being understanding of what's going to happen and to like anticipate that and play into that in his favor. He's always reacting to what's going to happen, despite he knows what is going to happen.
Right.
So he should be proactive and get to it and control the crowd and the scene, and the emotion, the feel of the vibe.
Think it'll be at it now.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess that's the answer now. But like I said, overall, the reason why they do it the way they did is because it's for drama's sake. But it does make you roll your eyes a little bit. At least it does mine.
It depends at the end of the day how season 3 is. To be honest,
And that's what it is.
Because I know that is the last season. They say it's the last season.
It needs to be.
Until the American
I won't do any more.
Unless the American version comes out.
They'll do that in a few years. I guarantee it.
I was wondering that too, because the way it ends, it's like Dandadan. Like, this is not where shit.
What if that is definitely how that ended for sure.
So I was like, okay, if they're gonna end it like this, the next one better be the last one.
Yeah, no, it needs to. I agree. It definitely needs to. And yeah, hopefully, and we need to do something because those guys on the boat, they're like fucking guts on the boat in Berserk. They've been on that boat for years now, and they need to get off that fucking boat and do something. They're like,
are we there yet? Not there yet.
Not there yet. Kakashi Sensei. Yeah. So yeah, that, like I said, overall it's good. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it because it knows what it does. Get some of the story beats right, and I think the best part of season 2 definitely involves him and his best friend. He kind of rediscovers and kind of finds himself his old self a little bit. I do like that dynamic they have a little bit, and I think the one character I did like among of the supporting cast was the ex-military person who is going through a transition of themselves, and the repercussions of all that, and society, they look down on these people, and even you see the mom character like, why would someone want to do this? I don't understand them, this and that. And of course, when it comes to when it's time to shoot and this and that, they definitely have like the most knowledge and information to help us get across the finish line. And all of a sudden, this person they thought was weird and different and not important is become now the most important person now in this scene. And so I like the whole thing they're doing to the the story thing, because a lot of the show kind of deals with like expectations and your mindset of how you see things and this and that character makes you rethink things that I feel like some people wouldn't.
I thought they were gonna do something. I did enjoy that character too. I thought they were gonna do like make her a bad guy, because the part where they all go to the bathroom.
Yes,
they kind of make it like,
oh yes.
Because I'm like, okay, the grandma's gonna kill the girl.
Everyone's gonna stab each other right behind each other.
Yeah, because for some reason they decided at that moment, right before they go to the bathroom, like, I have a knife here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely.
So
yeah.
they go to the bathroom.
I
And
forgot about that.
Are you
yeah.
gonna use it?
Yeah. Just in case.
And then the other thing that kind of gave me like I guess death flag
Right. Yeah.
was like
Death
the that character joins at the last minute.
Right. Yes. Very
that like-
suspicious. Like.
Or is she gonna take
They-
the knife?
Yeah. Literally popped up the last second. Be like,
So,
oh,
like,
me too. Me too.
I'm wondering who's gonna die here
Yeah,
now.
someone's got to go.
And nothing happened. I'm like, oh, what was the point?
Midnight bathroom run. All right.
Well,
It happens.
like drama's sake, very much. Was that kid? The kid in the bed, but the top of the bed punk was trying to save that girl. And he's like,
Oh, he's
he
worthless.
tosses the bottle. Like, what was the point? What was the end result? He thought was gonna think, I'm gonna get this bottle. I have this glass bottle. I can toss this guy's head, or I miss and just stand there and look.
That particular scene, I have mixed feelings
Wait,
about.
what part? I'm not sure.
The big nerdy guy who gets pushed around all day and he doesn't save his girlfriend, basically. His new girlfriend. That relationship did not last long, let me
He
tell you.
doesn't deserve her.
No, he does not. And that's the problem is, like, I felt that scene was almost like anticlimactic to a certain degree because we see these characters this whole time and you're hoping something's going to happen and then nothing happens.
If anything, what should have happened was he should have died.
Honestly, technically that's the way in my head I would have played it out to be. So that's, like I said, good thing, bad thing about the show is everything I thought this should happen, then you should do this. The show doesn't do that.
You need to make
So it
sure
keeps me surprised.
next time, make sure you aim for the person.
I just don't know why he doesn't jump on that.
I feel like in a way this show's a little bit realistic, where it's like we know what you want, but shit doesn't happen the way we want.
That's true. That is true. So yeah, I guess it gets points for that. If you want to be surprised, this show will keep you on your toes. I'll give you that. I'm trying to think. There was something, maybe it was an anime or video game, but I was waiting for a redemption arc also for a character like that, and it didn't happen. So I'm begging this doesn't happen for that guy. Because man, oh man, did he choke? Absolutely choke.
Glass him.
Always glass him. But don't miss. The big bad wolf, he didn't miss.
He didn't press the button at the same time. He didn't target it right.
If only there was like a prompt in the middle of the cutscene to let him know to do that. That would have been great.
No, he missed a prompt. Like the QTE started,
QT, no.
and then he's like,
He's never gonna win Shenmue that way. Let me tell you, he's gonna stick in Japan, never go to China, and he's never gonna figure out what happened on that incident day all those years ago. All right, well then I guess we'll wrap it up our Squid Game Season 2 talk. But overall, I think we all liked it, and I think we're all excited with Season 3 coming out in, I think it's a June, July?
Yeah. Because I also right now I think Dandadan also comes back in
Summertime.
too.
Well, there you go. Everyone will be happy. We got all the
Well, like Frank said, that was bad because that kind of
supernatural.
it ended,
But not really.
and that show ended, and then like they had like Berserk in here, so like no, that's it.
No, nothing's worse than the Berserk ending. But oh my god, I want to slap you across the face right now. Even suggest,
Wow.
even as a joke. How dare you, sir?
Nothing
beats the Berserk ending.
that 2 cents for you,
That
brother.
was pain for years. Let me tell you, years I suffered the pain of the anime, and then I suffered from the pain of the other anime adaptations. The real pain began afterwards. God, they suck. Go read the manga.
I'll watch a Razor review. Like, oh, this is what we got, guys. This is it. This is what we get.
Demand better. And I'll demand better on next time on the podcast when we talk about, speaking about expectations and series that maybe have questionable sequels. Dragon Ball Daima will be our next topic here on Taku Taku Podcast. So the last episode should be dropped around then.
We get the Dragon Balls or the Demon Dragon.
They're different. They're bigger than the ones on Namek.
They technically are smaller. I think technically they're like the
Oh
Super
wait, no,
Dragon
they
Ball.
were, or maybe they're about the same size.
They're like the same size. There's less of them though. There's only 3.
Is that right?
I think that's how that worked.
I'm gonna call shenanigans, but lucky for you, it's been a while since I saw the last episode, brother. So maybe you're right. But yes, look forward to all the Dragon Ball Daima talk. We'll get into spoilers discussions is there. So if you're curious, make sure to keep up with us and be ready for our next Taku podcast. We'll go through all those adventures and hopefully we'll see what happens with the Dragon Ball future afterwards. But yes, that is the next on the calendar. But of course, I have to thank everyone for joining me. So Frank, thank you for bringing your uncle skills with you this episode.
cool uncle skills.
Having said that,
The cool uncle points may soon be annoyed or frustrated brother points next episode.
Yeah. Don't worry, your dad will let you watch it.
As long as the secrets, gotta keep the secrets
being
within.
a cool uncle. Yeah, we're watching. Let's watch Attack on Titan afterwards. Let's go.
or Monster.
Monster's great.
Yeah, you learn some things from there.
Just a little bit of death on that one. So that's a little bit more appropriate for a young lad and lass, I think.
Berserk.
Everyone needs to learn the lesson of guts, all right? That's they should be teaching that in school, all right?
Yeah.
Kindergarten, first thing.
They need to listen to that song.
There you go.
All right, everyone gather around, kids, listen to the story. We call it the golden years arc. I forget what the first arc. God damn it, I choked. Oh well. Speaking of choking, hey Miles, thanks brother for joining me as always.
Yeah, thank you once. Yeah,
Bringing your brain farts along you with that poor spoiler talk there a little bit, brother. It's late at night, working hard.
It's a lot of things. I try my best as always.
Too many Squid Games to remember. And of course, thank you, our listeners, for hanging out with us this whole time and tuning in every other episode or every other week for every episode so you don't miss a single beat. And of course, we're on everywhere you can find podcasts, your Spotify's, your Apple Podcast app, and all the various clients out there for that. And of course, YouTube and Amazon Music. Wherever you find podcasts, you could probably find Taku Podcast. So this is probably first time checking us out. Check out those other places because I bet you there's probably a platform you prefer because it's tough out there. A lot of subscriptions to keep up with, and you probably have a certain one that might be a little bit more favorable. So yes, thanks once again for tuning in, and hopefully we'll hear you guys in the near future. Until then, peoples, have a good one, and bye-bye.